It's your boy Boss Show Me with Boss Cowboy Sports, bringing you another one. Yeah, so we dealing with my boy Dak, and obviously I told you I'm gonna be bringing y'all a lot of videos. This one is something that I told y'all I got a lot of proof for the things I'm gonna be talking about. That's why I'm leaning on Show Me, right? So these videos are designed to really not only give you the opinion, but show you, right? Show you what's going on. Speaking of that, I dropped a video last night. I ain't dropping no more late videos because the numbers on there not doing good. You can't drop hot videos in cold grease, just like you can't drop chicken in cold grease. It's not gonna come out right. So y'all go check out that video, man. Get them numbers up on that, because a lot of people need to see, and I don't think a lot of people seeing how Brian is really killing it. And I also go through the evidence on that as well. Everything is about show me. So I'm staying true to that with these videos, where I'm not just giving you the opinions, I'm showing you, right? So go check it out. You will feel a whole lot better about Brian from that video. But getting into today, and what I'm showing you is that, and I see it clear, that there could be a division to where front office likely desires to put this team on the shoulders of Dak. And that's a conflict, because that's actually not what Brian Schottenheimer wants to do, nor Clayton Adams. So like I told you, I'm seeing a lot from training camp, and I pick up on what sometimes a lot of people might miss. So y'all check this out. First, I said this is anti-Brian Schottenheimer. So listen.
Ton of playmakers and pieces, but we're going to go based on how our offensive line goes. And they're going to play really, really physical. They're going to be tone setters, if you will, and that's very exciting.
So Brian wants to put the team on the back of the offensive line. This is a true identity where they're aligned on this. So Will McClay talked about the alignment. So listen to the alignment.
I think that's the greatest part, is being aligned from top down, and that's one of the commitments that we all made sitting in there about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. You know, it starts with ownership coming down, but Shotty's got a plan, got a vision. We're going to support that, and then what we'll do is continue to, add good players. I have a great feeling about Shotty, what he's looking for. He's going to communicate. He's going to over-communicate. He's going to ask his staff to do that, and they're going to over-communicate with us, and we're going to over-communicate with them. That's how we're going to get it done the first year, and we'll continue to grow and get better at it.
The key thing that he talked about was the alignment, right? But the alignment also needs to come from front office, and I'm not seeing the true alignment. So you heard clearly Brian Schottenheimer say that this team is going to be on the back of the offensive line. He said this team is going to go as the offensive line goes, not Dak, not CD. See, because under Mike McCarthy, anybody with common sense would say the offense went as Dak and CD went under Mike McCarthy and the Texas coast. That is not the vision of Brian. So if you really want to know that I'm telling you the truth, just listen to Clayton Adams. Clayton Adams said something similar. So listen close.
Clarence Hill, All City DLLS. You talk about your relationship with Riley and being with it, offensive line coach. How much will you be a part of the offensive line, or will you stay away from that?
I definitely won't stay away from that. I think that it's a little bit to be determined exactly how all those things are going to work, because
this was February 18th, 2025. So this is very early, the very early hiring of Clayton.
I think, we need to get out and coach these guys a little bit, and we need to get past the point where we're just all trying to speak the same language, which is kind of where we're at right now. In regards to my involvement with the offensive line, is I want to have a great relationship with all these guys, and I really want to build genuine relationships so that they know that I'm here to help them play the best football of their careers, and that, they know that we're going to have a very clear and communicated standard for what we expect from them. For me, that's going to start in the offensive line room.
Ain't that perfectly similar to what Brian Schottenheimer said?
On how our offensive line goes, and they're going to play really, really physical. Kind of playmakers and pieces, but we're going to go based on how our offensive line goes, and they're going to play really, really physical. They're going to be tone setters, if you will, and that's very exciting.
I'm very excited about developing a relationship with those guys, but also, like I said, I need to have that same relationship with Dak. I need to have that same relationship with CD. So
I need to have that same relationship with Dak. I need to have that same relationship with CD. But see, you got to always watch for Bud, because Bud is going to basically exclude everything he previously said. I need to have that same relationship with Dak. I need to have that same relationship with CD. But watch the Bud.
So my time's going to be spread a little bit more in that way, but it's going to start in the offensive line.
And it wasn't just a but. He stressed it. He stressed it. He stressed it with his face, his hands, his body language. Everything said it's all about really being on the offensive line.
Those guys, but also, like I said, I need to have that same relationship with Dak. I need to have that same relationship with CD. So my time's going to be spread a little bit more in that way, but it's going to start in the offensive line.
So if I'm looking at your body language, if I'm looking at the alignment of your head coach with your offensive coordinator, the vision is supposed to be to put it on the backs of your offensive line. Clearly. Because he even talked about, this is your OC saying, I want to build a relationship with Dak. I want to build a relationship with CD. But it's about that offensive line. So, boss, why did you even have a thumbnail saying that they putting it all on Dak? See, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because I listen, and I listen well. So we heard Will McClay talk about the alignment, and it sounded good.
I think that's the greatest part, is being aligned from top down, and that's one of the commitments that we all made sitting in there.
He said they made him a commitment, right?
About what we're going to do and how we're going to do it.
So they made the commitment. Let me see. He said front office. Let me see.
It starts with ownership coming down, but Shotty.
So he says it starts with ownership. So let's listen to ownership.
I'm excited about out here and what this camp could mean by and through what we've done. Have we done some things with our players and our personnel that could really give us a chance to shock the hell out of them and be better than most people think we're going to be this year? Absolutely we have, and it could happen. And that Dak go out here and light it up, and a lot of good things could happen with us, okay? That's exactly the rationale I used really last year when I made him the highest paid player in the NFL. And
who did he say want to light it up?
Go out here and light it up, and absolutely we have, and it could happen. And that Dak go out here and light it up, and a lot of good things could happen with us, okay? That's exactly the rationale I used really last year when I made him the highest paid player in the NFL. And you don't think I didn't think about him getting hurt and not having him after doing that? That would be criminal had I not thought it out. Well, it happened. It happens. That kind of stuff happens. And get ready, you're going to get some knots when those kinds of things happen. We got a great chance to put together a team here this year that could be where we would like for it to be. I'm excited about that.
So, I always talk about one of my pastors back in the day. He used to always say this, and you can see it here. He used to say, you got to be careful when you have two visions, because that causes division. So you can clearly see that Brian Schottenheimer has the same vision as Clayton. You can clearly see that both of those guys put heavy emphasis on the weight of the team is going to be behind the offensive line. But Will McClay talked about that it starts with ownership being aligned. But if we're being honest, are you hearing that? Do you see that?
He's got a plan, got a vision. We're going to support that, and then what we'll do is continue to, add good players. I have a great feeling about Shotty, what he's looking for. He's going to do and how we're going to do it. It starts with ownership coming down, but Shotty's got a plan.
He said it starts with ownership coming down. But are you aligned? Did the ownership come down? Is he really with the vision of Brian Schottenheimer and Clayton Adams? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think so. I really don't. I don't. This team is built to be a passing team, even with the good talk of Clayton Adams and Brian Schottenheimer. See, that's why it's about showing me. That's why I took the Cowboy out my name, because I'm tired of them talking. You got to show me, because I heard the talk of it starts with ownership being aligned, but then when I listen to you, you not aligned with your guys. You not. You talking about Dak throwing that thing around. And most importantly, let's be honest. Let's look at how you built this team. Now, we know, let's keep it real now. This is where we got to be honest, right? So we know that Brian has always been clear. And I've always showcased that he's always said that games are won and lost in the trenches. And he clearly said that it's about the running game. So if you the owner, and if you the co-owner, Steven, wouldn't you build a team strongly where your head coach has put emphasis on where the games are won and lost? Are you saying that? I would say no. Just being real.
No, God! No!
Why you say that, boss?
You can't handle the truth. You want answers?
See, we know the reports that he had to pound the table for Booker. He shouldn't ever have to pound the table for what he already said. It was clear. This is how I believe games are won, in the trenches. It shouldn't have been no fights, but it was fights. It was a fight. Just like it was fight in the YouTube streets over team weapons versus team trenches. It was fights amongst front office and coaching about trenches versus weapon. On that particular one, Brian won. But I don't see the emphasis on the running game, because I didn't see them aggressively going after running back. So we can talk alignment, we can talk about ownership and all of that being aligned, but ownership is not aligned. They not.
To do and how we're going to do it. It starts with ownership coming down, but Shotty's got a plan, got a vision.
Yeah, it starts with ownership coming down, but did you really come down? When I look how this team is built, when I look at not doing anything aggressive at all at one tech, this is the smell of putting it on the back of your quarterback, despite what Brian is saying, despite what Clayton Adams is saying. So to me, this is something we have to keep our eye on. Because see, we've been hearing a good game and it sounded good. It sounded good. We're going to go as the offensive line go. We're going to run the ball. Mike McCarthy said the same thing. And we was passing that thing. And see, let me just show y'all a couple of more things to where you gotta see there's a potential difference that we gotta be ready to have Brian back with. So I already showed y'all this clip on the show when Brian talked about competition. Let me play it again.
Nick Harris, Four-Star Telegram. First one's for Brian. You said in Florida that no jobs are being given out on this team. Tyler Booker, is it as easy as throwing him in the right guard competition, or is this kind of a call to the entire offensive line that things could be changed?
Yeah, our motto is compete every day, and that doesn't matter whether you're Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, it doesn't matter. But when you see the traits that this young man has, he's going to come in, he's going to compete for it, and from every stop, playing in high school, going to IMG, going to Alabama, he's always found his way into the starting lineup. And again, I'm not just excited about the player, I'm extremely excited about the person.
Yeah, and then you heard Jerry insert himself in. See, notice Jerry started talking the moment he finished talking about that. This is what Jerry said.
You have to make a decision when you're paying them how they're going to compete for the spot. So when you make a commitment of a first-round pick or you make a commitment of a certain salary, you do want competition, okay? But you're betting the house.
Remember what we talked about, but, that word but? You do want competition. That sound good, Brian. You that sound cute, Brian. You do want competition, but
okay, but you're betting the house that you've got your winner in any kind of competition out there. Just logic.
That's not a line. I'm gonna just be honest. It's not a line. You're not a line. You're not. Now, to me, that's the reason why, and this is why I give Brian a lot of credit, because now that training camp started, he even stronger in his talk of competition.
Nick Harris, Four-Star Telegram. You had said back at the league meetings that no jobs are being handed out. You have the compete every day mantra. How competitive do you expect this camp to be compared to years past?
Well, hopefully it's the most competitive practice that I've been around. Otherwise, I'd be disappointed in my messaging and getting that across to the guys. I think what makes it, Nick, that competitive is the pieces that we've added. You know, you look at our roster from top to bottom, and we've filled in a lot of blanks. I mean, we've added some really good football players, and through free agency, through getting our guys back, and then, of course, the fact that that's the mantra and the mindset is we're going to compete in everything that we do. I would be very, very disappointed if it was an extremely competitive deal. We're going to move guys around. That's part of playing the game. You know, no one should be given a spot. You know, we need to push Dak. We need to push Tyler Booker. You know, there's guys like that, you know, people think, well, he's enshrined in that spot. Yeah, I mean, he's got the lead, but he's not been named the starter yet. We got a shit ton of football to play before we make any final decisions.
As it should be. And that's exactly how it should be. But see, you see the difference in thought? You got one guy that's like, if we drafted you and if we paid you, competition sounds good, but we done already bet the farm on you. And he called it common sense. So that tells me that there's not true alignment. And there could be a mid-season fight, a preseason fight, a training camp fight, because their visions are not aligned. It's not. You got one guy who basically, based on paying you and has a history of wanting to see you out there because I paid you, or I want a certain type of style of offense because I paid you. See, I don't honestly believe we like Philly. See, Philly don't care that they paid Hurts, but then they start putting it in the stomach of Saquon. They didn't care. They was like, whatever wins, man, whatever's the best for winning, we go do. So we got to keep an eye on this with Jerry and Brian, because this all comes down to what Angie said a long time ago. To me, I think we got the right man. I think Brian is showcasing excellent vision, excellent excitement, excellent forethought. He's showing that he took his head coaching prep seriously. But I also sense that there could be a schism in a division that could get in his way. So, once again, man, Boss showed you. I'm gonna treat everybody like with maturity, and I'm not gonna just give you my opinion. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you their words. I'm gonna show you Will McClay. I'm gonna show you Jared. I'm gonna put it all together for you so we can know how to really support our team. Some people call me a freedom fighter. I am. I'd rather be a freedom fighter than a cheerleader. See, because when you're a freedom fighter, you actually trying to liberate. You actually trying to get all of us to what we really want as a championship. But when you're a cheerleader, what you go do is you go cheer when things are good. And I almost don't even like looking at cheerleaders, to be honest. Can I be honest? I almost always hated looking at cheerleaders. You know why? Because they was always excited regardless of whatever was happening in the game. Your team could be blowing out and them cheerleaders be kicking their legs high and waving their pom-poms and happy and smiling at the crowd. It's like we getting demolished and y'all happy. I'm not a cheerleader, man. So if you want to say I'm a freedom fighter, cool. I'll be that. But I love my team, and I don't think we should ever put it all on the shoulders of one person. I think we should be exactly like Philly, where we paid our quarterback, but we also put so much around him that we took pressure off. If, in my opinion, if you was truly building this team to win it, you would have focused on running back, you would have focused on one tech, because then you would have really been building what your head coach said games are won and lost by. But it's your boy Boss Show Me, man, and I did my job today. Make sure y'all go back and support that other video that I just did, because the numbers on that are horrible, because I dropped it too late, but it's some of my best work. Trust me, you gonna be excited after that. But if they go put it all on Dak, well, let's go with it and let's rock.